Hey everybody, and welcome back to Starcub Review. I'm your host as always, Starcub, and this is video number 2 of my 2-part movie review. One being, the first one was on Malignant, and this one being one that I watched last night and I shared with y'all a little short of it, and that is 2021's The Matrix Resurrections. Now, I am not going to go into plot and all of that about this film. I'm simply going to give you my straight up, honest review for this installment. And I know it's a very controversial one. I know this film got absolutely wrecked at the box office. There were so many people that judged the absolute hell out of this film. And there's a lot of haters out there, but I know there's a fan base for this film as well, me being one of them, and I really honestly enjoyed the absolute heck out of this film. It is very, very different. It's a very, very different film to any of the other Matrix films that we have seen. Clearly for the fact that this one didn't have a lot of heavy, action-oriented, choreographed, stunts or really awesome fight sequences like any of the other ones did. Now, that is probably not gonna make everyone jump up and go, oh, this is gonna be my cup of tea, knowing that there's not much of that in it. This one, in my personal opinion, it just goes back to basics. It goes back to discovering yourself, discovering who you really are, but also discovering your powers, what makes you special, and all of that, but also navigating a completely new world that people, you wake up and realize that the world has totally changed around you, which is what Neo discovers later on, Keanu Reeves' character. And I can honestly say, Keanu Reeves as Neo, fantastic. It was absolutely great to see him back in the franchise, along with Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity. I absolutely adore Trinity's character. I think she was absolutely exceptional in Resurrections, and the whole plot of this film, trying to awaken Trinity and get her back or whatnot, I really, really love the concept that Neo as the One is not necessarily him anymore. It's him and Trinity, as you find out later on in the film that Trinity is now the other half of what makes Neo the One, basically. So now they both are considered the One, and she miraculously has special powers as well, which is fantastic. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Morpheus and Agent Smith. Fantastic. Great to see a new addition. He obviously, of course, plays a model of Morpheus, or takes on the traits of Morpheus, while not actually being the actual real Morpheus from the previous films, but takes on certain persona and traits of the original Morpheus, portrayed by Lawrence Fishburne. And you find out about his character in the middle of this film as well. So there's that, which is upsetting that Lawrence Fishburne didn't come back, but I understand the reasoning for it, and I understand how this plays into it, but it also gives more legacy to his... Well, it gives him more of a legacy now too, because the story has to keep a consistent flow somehow. So the way that they set it up and put him in it and mentioned him is fantastic. Jessica Henwick as Bugs, one of the new characters in it as well. Absolutely fantastic. She's the one that discovers Neo. And I like her character. A lot of people didn't like her character, but I did. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. Jonathan Groff as Agent Smith. Fantastic new addition. He plays Agent Smith really, really well. A dormant Will Smith. A dormant Smith, Agent Smith, who is manipulated by the new big bad of this film, the Analyst. But also, he does an exceptionally good Smith, and Hugo Weaving as well. There's flashbacks of Hugo Weaving's Smith integrated into this film, which gives it parallels as well, so that's really cool there. The only thing I didn't like in the this entry was the addition of the Analyst. The Analyst could have been played by anybody else, and I would have enjoyed the heck out of the Analyst a lot more. But Neil Patrick Harris as the Analyst just really didn't sit well with me. The only thing I did not like was the casting for him. I think he was a pathetic choice. I think it was a piss poor choice to have him as a big bad in it. Could have been played by anybody else, and I would have been absolutely perfect with. He just didn't come off very menacing, and I think he was miscast. I think he was miscast in this film. That's the only gripe I really have. Priyanka Chopra Jonas as Sati. Now, everyone remembers Sati from the previous installments. She was an exile program who was created without a purpose in the previous films, and we see her, and now she's grown up and she has a major role in this. So it is absolutely great to see her. Christina Ricci as Gwen. You only get to see a little bit of her, and whatever you saw of her was kind of a disappointment. I kind of thought Christina Ricci would have gotten a bigger role, but other than that, it was great to see her. Jada Pinkett Smith as Niobe, reprising her character. Absolutely fantastic to see Niobe back in it. Jada Pinkett Smith played that role so well, and the makeup prosthetics for this to make her she's aged 60 years, incredible work. She really sold it to me in this role, and she really took this role really seriously, and it shows in the film. I really liked how Niobe's character was in this film. Perfect. I really, really enjoyed her character. There's a whole other cast of characters that come into it as well, which is always new and fresh in a Matrix film. So the other casting characters were great. We do see the Merovingian returns from the previous films, who was played by Lambert Wilson. He does an amazing job as the Merovingian, and I hope to see more of the Merovingian in future films. Now, I know I am probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I thought the film was great. No, yes, I do agree there wasn't a lot of great action sequences. Oh my god, high tech, whiz wham bam, fighting sequences. That's the best way I can describe them. Mushwam, all of that. But it was fantastic for what we got in it, and Neo, and basically Neo rediscovering his powers, his purpose, everything in this world that he left behind 60 years ago, pretty much, and he thought he was dead. So to have him come back into it, it plays on that whole thing. Well, what do you do in a world now that 60 years later, you're back in a world where you hardly recognize it. But yes, you still remember the machines and everything like that, but regaining your powers and, try and accepting the fact that Morpheus is no longer in this film, Morpheus is no longer around, and all the other people that he met in previous films are no longer around, and the Oracle is no longer around either. So it does play on that. Now, I know there's a lot of other themes in this. There's loss, there's themes of loss, but also hope. There's themes of wanting to know oneself, basically who you think you are as a person. There's themes of doubt, there's themes of rejection, there's themes of pretty much illusion as well. You know, we create one illusion to suit ourselves in this world rather than the real world we live in reality. The Matrix, everybody. Matrix, everybody. We're living in the Matrix. Simulation. So there's all those different themes, but also too, the human psyche, how it works, how, you know, how everything just goes on even when you're dead. You know, you've been gone for so long, how the world is now, and you re-entering it, Neo re-entering it 60 years later. People have moved on. Some people still believe in Neo, but some people don't. And the machines are still around. They're still encapsulating people into this matrix, but it's the way that this, and then integrating the machines, fighting the machines at some point. When you see in a flashback, the machines start fighting amongst each other. So there's all those different concepts as well. Machine genocide, but there's also, and the one of the Wachowskis said that there was a lot of trans themes in this film. Now, I'm not sure what she means by there's trans themes in this. I couldn't really get that from the Matrix Resurrections, but everything else about this film just really intrigued me. You know, there was machines working with humans to create a better place after Zion, and now the new one is called Io. So machines went back to helping humans, and some humans didn't want to kill the machines, so they still work with humans. So there was that aspect as well, which I really liked, integrated into it. And I really liked the feel that this one was more of a gritty, sort of like a reboot, but also a fresh start, where we don't see a lot of the kick-ass powers that we see in the other films. It's them trying to work their way back up to realize, like, especially Neo and obviously Trinity. Now, she can fly as well towards the end of the film. It's kind of like they had to navigate that now of treading this new world and regaining their powers now as well. But I loved the whole some of the machines actually worked with Neo and Sati and that as well. So it and Niobe, of course, as well, because machines were helping her. So I really enjoyed that aspect of Matrix Resurrections. And obviously, Resurrections being that Neo gets resurrected, and obviously Trinity. And obviously, I know another host of other characters as well come back into the mix, being rebooted into it. But I would love to see them continue the franchise, really honestly. At this point, there is still more to tell, and you can see that and get that sense that, you know, they understand this world, although it's Lana Wachowski that directed it and wrote this one, and the other Wachowski sister didn't want any involvement in it because she believed that The Matrix was done. Now, I know a lot of people will say that, yeah, The Matrix is done, that they really shouldn't have continued it. And that's great and wonderful, but you could see with this film that there was it basically opened up with basically a new story, but it's continued in such a way where it doesn't hinder anything that came before it. It actually elevates it into a new era, and kind of now, what do you do now that Neo and Trinity are pretty much both the one now. One, you can't have one without the other. and now that they both have powers as well. But also, we need to see more of the machines. We need to see more why everything, like in bed detail as well, what fell through the cracks, why the machines revolted again, but also to explaining a little bit more in depth why the machines basically started fighting amongst themselves and destroying themselves in a big war, because that was one of the most interesting aspects of the film that I found really riveting, was the fact that there was peace for a very long time, like Bugs explains in the film, but after that, and Niobe explains as well, there was peace for a very long time, but then things changed. So I really want to see in a following film what happened to make the machines change their mind on certain things, because at the end of the third film, it was made clear that that Neo sacrificing himself, that the machines would leave the humans alone. So they brokered a deal and all of that. But now that that's gone, Neo coming back into it, now he realized, he's now hearing that the machines are doing what they're doing again, is what they were fighting for in the first three films. So it's a great film. I really, really enjoyed it, and I really had a good time rewatching this film, because it is a great film. And honestly, if people take the time to watch it and look at the themes behind it, rediscovering yourself, rediscovering who you are as a human, but also with the help of friends and that, this, Neo comes to realize that there's, there is stuff worth fighting for, and obviously one of them being Trinity, who's a big aspect of this film. So I really, really enjoyed it. It's just a shame that so many people just, they don't see the creativity and love and care and stuff that goes into a lot of these films. And for films like this, yes, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I understand that completely. But for people that really, really like this film, I've seen some people being attacked because they liked it, just reviewing it as well. So it is sad in that aspect, but hey, I go against the grain, and I will say this to people that really enjoy films or books or video games or anything of that source, and they really want to review it and talk about it, do it. I encourage you to do it. Don't worry about all the hate and negativity that your videos are going to get, or the dislikes they're going to get, because at the end of the day, people that do that sort of shit to other people are just sad human beings at the end of the day. And that's coming from me, in my personal opinion, that's just sad. People that do that shit are just sad, and they really honestly have nothing better to do than sit on their asses and attack people purely for the fact that they enjoy something. One of the things I like is Dragon Age of Valgard, and I over the course of when I did my reviews for it and talking about it, how good it is, I have been attacked numerous times, and I've learnt to just brush that off now. I've learnt to just brush that off and go, you know what, those sort of people just don't deserve your answer, don't deserve anything. They can keep hating on something all they bloody want, but at the end of the day, that you liked it, I liked it, this is what I enjoy doing. If I'm going to get attacked, hey, that just shows the integrity of people is just really, 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 really stupid and low, and they don't have lives. They honestly don't have lives. They honestly just want to complain all day and make up stupid videos for their viewers to just spill more hate to people that are talking about something that they dislike. So, go with the flow, people. Like, if you enjoy it, review it. That's all I can say. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning into this video. Now, I know this is a little bit of a long one, but this film, I know it's been very, very divisive. It was a box office bomb, which is a shame because I really enjoyed this film. When I saw it in the theaters, it was absolutely fantastic film. Cast and crew did an amazing job, and I really hope with the Matrix reboot that's going around, I really hope that they bring back a majority of these characters and continue the story and not reboot the Matrix entirely again, and do a completely different story and all of that cast of characters, because honestly, the Matrix films that we've got now are fine, are absolutely perfect. I like them. I like the cast, I like the characters. Don't change them on everybody. That's all I can say. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget to click the 2 links down below, one for my TikTok, one for my Instagram, and don't forget to click like, the subscribe button, and the notification bell to keep up to date with all my content. You guys have been great, and I will see you all with another video later on down the track. Bye.